ESK button.
Yep.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Good morning,
Going to
Fairfax.
5.
Let's stand and worship together. Let's worship
Intro.
our God. Scripture
Going
calls
to
us to give
2.
thanks. Give thanks to the Lord for his unfailing love. That's why we're here,
Going to
right? That is why we
7.
worship. Let's sing this together.
Kayla was extra chatty today. All right. Going back to 5.
Verse.
Stand by 3. Going to 3. All right. Everybody looks good. 6, you can grab some of the other singers.
The cross that leaves no question of the measure of his love.
Chorus.
7, I'm going to go to you if you want to get 2 back to back. Going to 7. 1, 2. All right. Going to 5. Stand by 6. Going to 6. Looks beautiful. 3, you want to tilt up just a little bit? That's good. Going to 3. Keep on moving 2. I'm going to go to you in a sec.
Verse.
Going to 2. Beautiful. Going to 5. Going to 3.
The guilty one
Stand by 6. Going to 6. Going to 7.
Death would be his portion.
That's nice. 5. Going to 5.
Our portion liberty.
Going to 3.
Chorus.
Our chains are
7.
gone. Our days
1 more 7. Beautiful. Going to 3.
has overthrown.
Stand by 5. Going to 5. 6. Keep it, Josh.
Jesus' blood
Going to 6.
sets us free.
Going to 3. Beautiful, guys.
Death
5.
Breakdown.
Going to 2. Stand by 3.
Bridge.
Going to 3.
I give
Beautiful.
my whole life to
Stand by
honor
6.
this love by the Lamb who
7. Can you
was
show the
slain.
crowd with Mary Callie? Going to 6.
Forgiven, the sinner's Savior,
Yeah, that's pretty. Going to
crown
7.
him forever.
Going to
For the
5.
Lamb who was slain.
Nice
Bridge.
job, everybody.
is
Build.
Back to 3.
I give my whole life to honor this love.
Stand by 7. Going to 7.
Was slain. I'm forgiven.
3.
The sinner's Savior, crown him
Stand by 5. Going to
forever.
5.
For the Lamb who was slain.
Bridge.
Stand by 6. Going to 6.
Risen. I give my
7. Go back to the drums.
whole life to honor this love.
Stand by
By
5.
the
Going to
Lamb
5.
who was
Going
slain,
to 2.
I'm
Going to 6.
forgiven.
Going to
The
7.
sinner's Savior,
3.
crown him forever.
5.
For the Lamb who was slain,
7.
he is risen.
Chorus.
7. Get the drums.
Our days are gone. Our days paid. The
Stand by 6.
cross
Going to 6. That looks good. 5. Hold on. Going to 5. Beautiful.
For Jesus' blood that sets us free. It means death to death and
Going to 6.
life for me. It means death to death.
Big retard ending.
Ending.
For
1,
2.
1,
3. Go to
2.
3.
3, 4.
Going to 7. Oh, sorry. Going to 3. Going to 5. All right, 7. You ready? Going to 7.
Intro.
That looks nice. 6. Hang on to that for a sec. Going to 5.
Verse.
Going to 3.
God, I look to you.
Beautiful.
I won't be overwhelmed.
start to walk back with that shot?
Verse.
Just walk backwards, going to 6. Beautiful. Going to 7. Go back to 3.
Interlude.
Going to 5. Going to 7. Hit the drums.
3, you gotta watch your focus when when you see all the green lines, you'll know that that person's in focus.
Do you know which ring that is, Chris?
Verse.
Going to 6. No, 6 is out. Going to 7. 6, can you go to breathe? 3, I think that looks better. 6. Oh, it went out of focus
Chorus.
again.
Breakdown.
Going to 5. Going to 7. Going to 6. Oh, going to 5. Pretty.
Interlude. All in.
Going to 2. Beautiful 2. That's beautiful. Going to 3. 3's up. Going to 7. 7 is up. Stand by 6.
Verse.
Going to 6. Going back to 3. Nice, everybody. 2, you want to do some with your camera a little lower? Going to
Verse.
5. Yeah, going to 2. Going to 5. 6, you tilt up a little bit. Or, I mean, 3, sorry, 3. Going to 3.
Chorus.
Yeah. Going to 7. Stand by 6. Going to 6. 6 is up. Stand by 5. Going to 5. Going to 3. Stand by 7. Going to 7.
The hits.
Drums.
Chorus.
7. Stand by 6. Going to 6. Stand by 5. Going to 5. Stand by 3. Going to 3. Stand by 2. Going to 2. Going to 7. Stand by 6. Going to 6.
Breakdown.
5 is up. Going to 3.
Bridge.
5, you got keys going to 5. 5 is up. That's pretty 6. Going to 6. Stand by 7. Going to 7. Going back to 5. 5 is up. Stand by 6. Going to 6. Stand by 3. Going to 3.
Pick it up.
Bridge.
Going to 5. 5 is up. Stand by 6. Going to 6. Nice. Stand by 7. Going to 7. Stand by 5. Going to 5. Stand by 3.
Instrumental.
Going to 3. 7. Get those drums. Going to 7. Nice. Going to 6. 6 is up. 2. Going to 2. Keep
Instrumental.
Going to 2. Alright. 3, tilt up a little bit. Going to 3. Stand by 5. Going to 5.
Chorus.
Stand by 7. Going to 7. Nice. Stand by 6. Going to 6. 2, do a big sweep. Up. Going to 2.
Outro. Breakdown.
Stand by 7. Going to 7. 5, you got those keys. Going to 2. Going to 5. All right, we're going to stand by
Verse.
for. Are they going to do one more verse? Oh, she's going to do one more. Going to 3.
You where my help
3's up.
comes from.
Rod will be up after this
Give
song.
me wisdom, 'cause you know just
2, pan to the right a
what
little.
to do.
Get more, yeah. Going to 2. 3, go to Rod. 6, go ahead and get Rod.
Will you pray with me?
3 can
God,
zoom out at
that's
this
what
point.
gives us hope. That's
Going
what
to
allows
7.
us to carry on
Hang on to that for a
in the
second.
midst of the uncertainty of life, in the midst of the surprises of life, in the midst of the disappointments.
That's a good
the
distance,
hurts,
3.
the pains, all of that,
I'm
Lord.
gonna focus
It's that
just a
you
little
are
bit
on
more,
your
3.
throne and that you reign.
Going to 3.
And Lord, we find strength in that. That in
All right,
the midst
7,
of
you're clear.
everything that is going on, that you are the God who is in control ultimately. And Lord, we lean into that and we give thanks for that. Lord, we pray for those who have
Going to
experienced
6.
loss this
6
week.
is up.
We pray for the John Lewis family. We pray for the loss of a father or grandfather, someone who's had impact on so many people's lives. We pray for that loss. Lord, we pray for others who have lost family
Going to
members this
3.
week by COVID or by cancer or by heart attack or whatever it is, Lord. We know that there are so many families that are experiencing loss in our nation, in our world. Lord, we pray that you would come alongside them. We pray the fact that you are a God who reigns would bring comfort and would bring strength. And Lord, we pray that you would be in our midst today as we break forth your word, as we look again at what you remind us of in Scripture. We pray that you'd open our hearts to what we need to hear today. Lord, you know what we need to hear, and so we pray that our hearts would be open to that. Whether we're watching online, whether we're in this space, Lord, we pray that our hearts would be open to whatever it is that you need to say to us. In the name of
2,
Jesus.
start to pan to the
Everyone
right.
said? Amen. You can have
2
a
is
seat.
live.
We are so glad to have you with us. Can you just give it up for our worship team leading us today?
All right, going to 3.
So welcome, welcome. It's so great to have you. It's our second week
All right,
in
just stay with
house
them,
here.
3.
And so
6,
welcome
once
to
you're
those that are
settled,
sitting in the
just
blue
get a
seats.
shot of
Welcome to those who
him.
are watching online.
2,
We're
you can
so
kind of
glad
just
to
keep
have
it
you
to
with
the
us
right.
today. If
Have
you
him on
happen
the
to
left
be
side of your
new,
screen.
whether you're here in the sanctuary or
Little
whether
bit
you're
more,
watching online,
and
we
then
would
down.
love to
Yeah.
know that. And there's a couple of ways that you can let us know that. If
We
you're
want to
watching
try and
online,
avoid
there's just a
seeing
little
the
button at
screen
the
from
top
camera
that
2,
says new
if
here.
that's possible.
Click
So
that,
pan to
give
the
us
right
some
some more, maybe
information.
zoom
We'll
in a
follow
little.
up with you. If
There
you're
you
here in
go.
the sanctuary,
There you
there's a couple things
You
that
could
you
zoom in
can
just,
do.
yeah, there you go.
One,
Tilt
on your
down if
way
you
out,
can.
there's a welcome table that's outside. You can stop there, and they will get information from you and give you some information about the church, answer any questions that you
Yeah,
have.
we can kind of
Or
hang out
if
with
you
that
want to
for the
text
sermon.
right now in the middle of the service, just text Fairfax info at 94090. And that will give you some information where you can let us know that you're new. You can also, Fairfax info 94090, to let us know if you are interested in getting involved in a small group. Small groups are huge for us here at Fairfax. Even this summer, we have new folks getting involved in groups, developing friendships, praying with people, walking through God's Word together,
camera 6?
growing together. It's really, really
Yeah,
exciting.
if you want to have,
And
are you
if
sitting
you're
down?
not in a small group, we'd love
Yeah, if you
to
can
help
keep
you
a shot
find
on
the
him
perfect
about what
group.
you have,
And
maybe
so some of you
could
maybe
zoom
been
out
thinking
just a
about
little
this.
bit
Some of you
more.
online, you've been thinking about this.
And
This
then
is the
I'll take it
weekend
a couple times
to
during
do
the
it. If you're
sermon.
online,
Yeah,
there's
that's
a little
good.
button at the top that just says
Thank
groups.
you.
Click that, and you can give us some information.
I'll give you
We'll
a
get you in
heads
a
up
group.
before I take you.
If
So.
you're interested, if you're here in the sanctuary and you're interested in getting in a group, again, out at the welcome table, you can get information about it. Or, again, text Fairfax info at 94090. So last week, I mentioned something really exciting that we're starting. We're just calling it Love Your Neighbor Projects. And our mission as a church is to love our neighbor and see them raised to life in Christ. And we're always looking for practical ways to live that out in our church and live that out in our community. And so one of the ways we're doing is we're putting together all of these Love Your Neighbor projects. Some are one-off projects, just something that you can do one time, and then you can go back and do something else. Some of them are ongoing.
We got to watch the headroom on
things that
3.
you can do.
If you want to switch to
But
6
the way
so that
you
we can
get involved
he'll
with
tilt
this
down
is
on
by
3 a little bit.
downloading an
Yeah,
app
going to
that's
6.
called VOMO, V-O-M-O.
You can come down 3.
And when you download
It's
that
okay if you see a
app,
little of the
it
podium.
will ask
Yeah, there
you
you go.
to
That's good.
join an organization. All you have to do is put in Fairfax there, and it will take you right to
You wanna-
our
yeah, you wanna just
Fairfax
kinda keep
Congregational
his
Hub, and you'll see
top
all
of
of the
his hair
Love Your
almost
Neighbor
touching the top of
projects.
your
Then every time that you open up that app, it will default right to that hub, and you'll see those projects. And so I mentioned this last week. We had 215 people that became a part of that community, that Fairfax community, that are just giving their lives in service. Yeah, that's awesome. And if you would like to be a part of that and haven't yet, just download the app. You can do it during the service, and it's real simple, and you can be a part of that and see kind of these projects. People ask all the time, like, what can I do? I want to do something that will show the love of Christ in practical ways. This is what you can do. This will kind of, and we will keep building that
it's a little
platform
bright.
out, and more and more
I'll
projects
adjust it a
and
little
all
bit.
of that. So we encourage you to do that. The other way that you can serve, if you're interested in doing this, is that, as we mentioned, we've been committed to now a dual platform kind of dynamic as it relates to our weekend worship, so that we're going to have on-site worship, we're going to have online worship. We want both of those experiences to be absolutely incredible. And one of the ways that that happens is by our amazing camera operators. We've got way more camera operators now to make every single venue more dynamic and more engaging. The venue here in the sanctuary, out in the great room, eventually in the hangar, and certainly online. And so we're building that team. And so if you're interested in being a part of that team, if you've maybe always wanted to somehow be involved in kind of what we're doing on the weekend, this is a perfect opportunity to do that. Couple of things. One is that next Sunday after the 11:15 service, July 26th, there's going to be an interest meeting for anyone interested in maybe thinking about or being involved in being a camera operator here. And if you want to find out more about it this weekend, Josue Escobar, who is over all of our production for the weekend, is going to be out at the welcome table. You can stop by there, ask questions, get more information. But we're excited about building that team. And then I just want to say thank you, as I do every week, for your incredible generosity to this place and how faithful you have continued to be with your tithes and with your offerings. God continues to provide for this place. Once again, this last week, He provided everything that we needed through your generosity. And so thank you for that. And if you want to give as a part of your worship experience here, if you're online, there's just a little button that says give. You can click that button. If you are here, there are boxes in the back of the sanctuary. You can drop your offering in there. If you want to text, you can just Fairfax Give. Just text Fairfax Give to 77977. You can be involved in that way. And then I want to say again, just thank you for wearing your mask, okay? I know that it is kind of a hassle, and that people are saying, man, I can't wait to get these off and worship. But one of the ways that you love your neighbor is by not getting your neighbor sick. And so thank you for doing that. Thank you for social distancing. Thank you for registering. The way that we're able to make sure that we have the right number and the right number of spaces and all of that is by you registering for the service. We're going to be doing that for a while. So thank you for doing that. I saw that so many of you kind of had it on your phone. You're ready to go when you came in. Thank you for doing that. That really makes it, it helps us a lot in the process. So we're in the second week of this series that is called Act Justly. And I've mentioned every week that this pursuit of justice and this fight against injustice is not just the response to a cultural moment that we're in. We are in the midst of a really, really important cultural moment, but the pursuit of justice is not just a response to that cultural moment. It is a biblical calling. It is God's calling upon our life. It's proclaimed, the pursuit of justice is proclaimed in the Old Testament. It's at the center of Jesus' ministry. It was fulfilled when Jesus died on the cross for us. It will be realized in all of its fullness when Christ returns. And so it's at the very, very heart of what it means to be a follower of Jesus. And the first week, we talked about the longing for freedom, how there is a longing within every human heart to be free, and that God's desire is to set us free from anything that would enslave us, whether it's a behavior, whether it's an attitude, whether it's an ignorance, whether it is an addiction, whatever it is. God wants to set us free from anything that would enslave us, and He wants to liberate the oppressed, even those who do not realize that they are oppressed or don't understand the things that are oppressing them, that Jesus came to liberate those who were oppressed. So that's what we talked about the first week. And then last week, we talked about being united around the pursuit of justice. that so often within culture, the pursuit of justice actually ends up dividing people, and sometimes even dividing people in the church. And one of my prayers for our church through this whole season has been a prayer for protection, a prayer for provision, and a prayer for unity. God, unify us. And if we understand what the pursuit of justice is all about, we will be unified around the pursuit of justice, because no one who is a follower of Jesus looks at anyone who is hurting, anyone who has experienced injustice in their lives, and responds by saying, it's not my fault. Like, that's not what a follower of Jesus Christ does. What a follower of Jesus Christ, it doesn't matter who bears the responsibility, it doesn't matter whose fault it is. What I want to do is help you deal with your hurt, help you deal with your pain. I want to help make this right. That's what we as followers of Jesus are called to. How can I help make this right? Regardless of where the blame falls, regardless of who's at fault, I want to help make this right. And that's at the very core of the gospel. We talked about this last week, that at the very core of the gospel is Jesus, who dies for us on a cross. And in dying for us on a cross, he takes upon himself that which was not his, that which was not his fault. It was not, our pain is not his fault. Our injustice is not his fault. Our brokenness is not his fault. Our sin is not his fault. But he took all of that on himself and paid for it so that he could make things right. And for those who follow Jesus, that's what we're called to do. That's what it means to take up
see
your
your camera
cross
going out of
daily
focus,
and
just
follow Jesus.
move it a little
is
bit
to
and
join with
tell it
Jesus
to
in this
get back on
mission,
rod. If
this
you move to the left,
restorative,
it might
redemptive mission that he is on
There.
in this world
That's good.
to make things right, to restore things, to take all of that that has been broken by sin and by evil and by injustice, and to make things right and to make things whole. And that's what it means to be a follower of Jesus. Now, I want to turn a corner this weekend, and we're going to kind of focus in this direction the next few weeks, where we're just like, how do we live this out? How do we live this pursuit of justice out? How do we live it out in our own lives? How do we live it out in our families? How do we live it out in our communities? How do we live it out in our nation? How do we live it out in our world? How do we live out the pursuit of justice in practical, concrete ways? And we're going to be talking about that over the next 3 weeks. But I want to start with Romans chapter 7, because in Romans chapter 7, the Apostle Paul helps us to understand the beginning point for living out this pursuit of justice. And one of the things that Paul does in Romans 7 is he gives us this vivid, shockingly vivid description or depiction of the human heart, of all of our hearts, like the human heart, the human condition. And this is the way he says it in Romans 7, starting in verse 18. He says, I know that nothing good lives in me, that is, in my sinful nature. For I have the desire to do what is good, but I cannot carry it out. For what I do is not the good that I want to do. No, the evil I do not want to do, this is what I keep on doing. Now, here's what's shocking about that statement. It's coming from the Apostle Paul. It's coming from an unbelievably religious person, a Pharisee. And the Pharisees gave their whole lives to understanding the Mosaic law, understanding the law of God, and then living in obedience to the law. So here's this incredibly religious guy, this incredibly moral guy, this guy who has committed his life to being obedient to God's law. And he is saying that I cannot live this out. The things that I don't want to do, the things that I know I shouldn't do, the things that I want to avoid, I keep doing them. And the things that I want to do, the things that I know I should be compelled to do by God's love, I don't do them. And then he goes on in verse 20 to tell us why. And that's what's interesting. Verse 20. Now, if I do what I do not want to do, it is no longer I who do it, but it's sin living, dwelling in me that does it. Now, I love the fact that Paul does not try to externalize his sin. He does not try to treat his sinful struggles as some external force that is kind of being imposed on him from the outside. He says, no. This stuff, this evil, this sin, this injustice that is in me, like this lives in me. This dwells in me. This is something that doesn't just even rent a room for a couple of nights and then leaves. Like this stuff dwells within me. It lives within me. It resides within me. And what Paul is implying, obviously, by that is that he's not somehow unique in that regard. He's implying that this sin, this evil, dwells within every single heart. That it dwells within everyone's heart. This capacity for sin, this capacity for evil, this capacity for injustice, even in the most moral people, even in the most righteous people, even in the most religious people, the people that show up at church all the time, let this capacity for evil and injustice and sin dwells within us. Even the Pharisees among us, even those of us who always follow the rules, even those of us who are so obedient to the law and never break the law, like even within us, Paul is saying that there is this capacity for sin and this capacity for evil and this capacity for injustice that's there. And I think that we tend to, especially I think in the church, we tend to underestimate, and maybe those of us who grew up in the church even do this a little bit more, we tend to underestimate like our capacity for sin, our capacity for evil, our capacity for injustice. And the reason I think we do is because oftentimes it's not seen by anyone else, and sometimes we're not even in touch with it. Like we're not in touch with our own capacity for evil and for sin and for injustice. And then, something happens, right? We get put under tremendous stress or tremendous pressure, or we face a temptation that we've never experienced before, or we get hurt, or we're in pain, and we're in so much pain that we'll do anything to try to soothe the pain, to try to tamp the pain down, to try to make it not hurt quite so much. And then it begins to come to the surface, this capacity for sin, this capacity for injustice, this capacity for evil. And I know we don't like to talk about that. I know we don't like to come face to face with that. And that's why we look at people who do really bad things, and we work really hard to differentiate ourselves from the people that we read about or see on the news that do really bad things. And we want to differentiate ourselves from them, right? So we hear about someone who did something bad, or we read about somebody that did something bad. It's like, oh, well, they're unique and they're different and they're kind of a bad apple. There's these bad apples in society, but I'm one of the good apples in society, and they're one of the bad apples. And so we work really hard to try to differentiate ourselves. But what Paul is saying is that no, he said that if you look deep enough within the heart of every human being, you'll find this capacity for sin and for injustice and for evil that's residing there. So, what's the solution? How do we deal with this capacity that is within every human heart for sin and for evil and for injustice? Well, what we tend to do is we tend, even within culture, to immediately go to the law and to immediately assume if we can just get the right laws in place, if we could just get the right laws in place, then everything would be all right. If we could just get the right laws in place, then we can tamp down, we can push down this injustice, or we can push down this evil, or we can push down this sin. If we could just get the right laws in place. In fact, if we could just get the right laws in place, maybe some of this injustice would go away forever and never rear its ugly head again. Maybe some of this evil would go away forever and never, ever again rear its ugly head. If we could just get the right laws in place. But what Paul is reminding us of in chapter 7 is that laws, no matter how good they are, that they do not have the power to change the world. They will always leave you wanting more, longing for not being satisfied. In fact, if having the right laws in place could change the world, then Old Testament Israel would have been enough to change the world, because they had the perfect law. There has never in the history of the world been a society, a culture, a nation, a country who has had more perfect laws than Old Testament Israel. They had the law that was handed down on stone tablets to God to Moses from God, that was brought down to the people. They had the laws of God that was codified in the Word of God. They had the perfect law of God, and still it was not enough to change the world. It wasn't even enough to keep them out of exile. Even with the perfect law of God, still they go into exile. Now, no one understands this. No one understands the inadequacy of the law better than the Apostle Paul, because even though he was committed as a Pharisee to keeping the law, even though he wanted to live an incredibly moral and obedient life, look at what he says in verse 5. He says, "For when we were controlled by the sinful nature, the sinful passions aroused by the law were at work in our bodies, so that we bore fruit for death." You see what Paul is saying there? He's saying that not only is the law incapable of getting rid of this sin, this evil, this injustice that resides within us, that it actually magnifies it. It actually brings it to the surface. It actually causes us to immediately try to figure out ways to get around the law. I did a bunch of interviews over the last several weeks on my 1102 Instagram Live, and it was really cool. I just called them Stories from the Blue Seats, and it was just stories from people in our congregation who have experienced or either personally or just had some things to speak into this issue of racial inequality and racial injustice and racism and racial reconciliation and restoration and repair, like all of that. Like, we had conversations around all of that. Were fascinating conversations. And one of the guys that I talked to is a member of our church. His name is Jordan Simmons III, and Jordan has been a longtime member of Fairfax. I had the privilege of marrying his daughter and son-in-law, and just a great member of our congregation. But Jordan was a survivor of the Orangeburg Massacre. Now, some of you, if you've never heard of the Orangeburg Massacre, you're not alone, because it wasn't covered much at the time, and it really hasn't been covered that much even since then. But Google that, Orangeburg Massacre. Basically, what happened is that there was a group of black protesters, black student protesters on the campus of South Carolina State University. And they were peacefully protesting, and some highway patrolmen came, and things kind of, they overreacted, and they started firing into this crowd of unarmed black student protesters. There was about 200 or so of the protesters, and 3 of the young men were killed, or 3 of the students were killed, and
All right, camera
about
crew,
28
we're
of
almost
them
halfway
were
through the
wounded by
second to last page, so
gunfire.
like
And
2
one of
pages
the
left.
28 that was
You're
wounded
doing great.
was
6,
Jordan,
I'm gonna
and he was actually
hit
hit
to
in
you
the
in a
neck
minute when he's reading a
and
scripture.
had the bullet just a little
2
bit off
also,
right
so
or
just
left.
stand
It
by.
would have either killed him or it would have paralyzed him for life. And so, his life was profoundly affected by all this. Now, what were the students protesting? Here's what the students were protesting. What the students were protesting was a bowling alley in Orangeburg was owned by a man by the name of Harry Floyd. And Mr. Floyd was not happy about the Civil Rights Act. This was in 1968 that this took place, February 8th, 1968. Mr. Floyd was not happy about the Civil Rights Act that was passed in 1964 and the implications and the laws that grew out of that were for the purpose of fighting discrimination and making sure that public spaces especially could be integrated, and you couldn't segregate in public spaces, and you couldn't discriminate people because of the color of their skin. And so he was not happy with that. And so in response to the law that had been passed and other laws that were being passed in states. What he decides to do, since you can't segregate a public space, he decides to turn his bowling alley into a private club, a bowling alley to a private club, so that for the express purpose of only allowing white people to come in and not allowing black people to come in. And that's what the students were protesting, is his trying to kind of move around the law, get around the law by saying, okay, if it has to be integrated in public spaces, then I'll make this a private space. That's the way, folks, that's the way the sinful heart works. The law, whether it's God's law, whether it's civil law, whether it's criminal law, whatever it is, doesn't get rid of the evil or the injustice or the sin that is within us. It only magnifies it. It only brings it to the surface. Now, that doesn't mean that laws are unimportant. We want laws in our society, in our culture, that are just. We want laws that are right. We want laws that are fair. We want laws that are equitable. We want laws that protect the vulnerable in our culture, whether people are vulnerable because of their race or because of their ethnicity or because of where they were born or because they are poor or because they are still in their mother's womb. We want laws that are just. We want laws that are right. We want laws that protect those who are vulnerable, who give a voice to the voiceless, right? We want those kinds of laws. And the Apostle Paul says the same thing. He says the law is not bad. Don't get me wrong. He's saying the law is not bad. It's just that it serves a particular purpose that doesn't go far enough to change the heart. Listen to what he says in verse 7
Stand
and
by
following.
6.
What shall we say then?
Put him on the left of your...
Sin? Now he's talking about the Mosaic law,
Keep
but I
going.
think this applies
Pan to
really
the right
to
more.
all
6.
law. Is the law sin? Certainly not.
Can you...
Indeed, I would not have
Can you hear
known
me,
what
6?
sin was except through the law. So it's what helped me understand what sin was. For I would not have known what
Pan to the right
coveting
more,
really was
6.
if the law had not said, do not covet.
Can you hear me?
But sin,
No.
seizing the opportunity afforded by the commandment, produced in me every kind of covetous desire.
Camera 3, can you hear me?
For apart from the law, sin is dead. Once
Camera
I was
2,
alive,
camera
apart
6.
from the law,
Anybody
but
hear
when
me?
the commandment
See, I
came,
think it
sin
has to
sprang
be.
to life and I died. I found that the very commandment that was intended to bring life
Hey, Jose,
actually
I
brought
don't know if
death.
they can hear me when
For
I'm only
sin,
on B.
seizing the opportunity afforded by
I'm
the
not getting any
commandment,
response
deceived
from
me,
anybody when I'm trying
and
to
through the
direct.
commandment put me to death. So then, the law
Can you guys hear me?
is holy,
All right.
and the
There we go.
commandment
Okay.
is holy.
6, can you pan to the right
righteous, it's
some more?
good. Did that which
Put
is
him on the
good then
left,
become death
yeah.
to me?
Other way.
By no
There you
means.
go. Go to 6.
But in order that sin might be recognized as sin, it produced death in me through what was good,
Right a little
so
bit more,
that
6.
through the commandment sin
Other way.
might become utterly
There you go.
sinful. You see what Paul's
Going
saying?
back
He's
to
saying
3.
the law
Thank you,
is
6.
important because the law helps us to distinguish right from wrong. The law helps us to distinguish
All right,
just
camera
from
crew, we are on the last
unjust,
page.
good from evil. Like we need the
Huh?
law, he is saying. That if it's
Oh,
not for the
all right.
law, we don't have these clear understanding of what is just and what is unjust. We don't have a clear understanding of what is right and what is
All
wrong.
right,
We don't have
so
a
when
clear
he
understanding
goes
of
to
what is
pray,
good
3
and
just
what is
stay with
evil.
them,
So
6
we
also
need the law.
stay
It's
with
just
him.
that he's saying
We're
the
gonna
law was powerless.
try and get a shot,
change
not with
him.
Logan grabbing the podium.
The law had no power to change what was going on within his heart. And at times, the law allowed Paul to actually avoid dealing with his own sin. Because as long as there were people out there who were breaking all 10 commandments,
supposed to be
he
this
didn't have to really focus so much on the one commandment that he was struggling with. That it almost became a way of keeping score, a way of comparing himself to other people, a way of saying, you know, I'm really not that bad because there's all these other people that are doing so many worse things than me. And so it allowed him to kind of keep score and not really have to deal with the sin that was within his
Ooh, 6,
his
that's
own
pretty. Hold
heart.
on to that for
And
a
the
sec.
same is so often true that we at some level do the same thing. If we can stay focused, on the blatantly racist things that someone else has done or someone else has said, then
Wanna
we
go to
don't have to
6?
deal with what's going on in our own heart. If we can stay focused
go to
on the
2.
way someone else has betrayed us, or someone else has hurt us,
3,
or
if you want to
someone
zoom
else
in
has
just a
oppressed
little bit
us,
more.
or someone else has taken advantage of
Yeah,
us,
that's good.
or someone
And
else
then
has
just watch
lied
your headroom
to us,
there.
if we can stay
I know, he
focused
bends down
on
a
what
lot. It's kind
someone
of
else has
a
done to
makeshift.
us, then we
Always
don't have to
adjusting.
deal
Go back to
with
3.
our own stuff. That's what Paul is talking about there. So what's the answer? Paul tells us in verse 24, what a wretched man
He
I
was
am.
supposed to be on the last page.
Who will rescue me from this?
He is.
How does
Yeah,
this cycle get broken? How does change really
Got one more
happen in
scripture.
my life? How does the world really become a better
think so,
place? How
yeah.
does culture really get changed? Who will rescue me from this body of death? Thanks be to God through Jesus Christ our Lord.
All right, couple
There's
paragraphs.
absolutely
the law
nothing
was
really on the last
powerless
page.
to do.
Couple lines.
Yeah.
In that it was weakened by the sinful nature. God did by sending his own son in the likeness of sinful man to be a sin offering. Paul is saying the law was powerless to change me. And the law is powerless to change us. God's law, civil law, criminal law, whatever, the law is powerless to change you. That either you will comply with the law out of fear, the fear of getting a fine, the fear of going to jail, the fear of going to hell. Either you'll comply with the law out of fear, or you
All
will
right.
comply with the law without really
Cameras
complying
5 and
with the
7, are
law
you
by
guys
trying
able
find
to
a
get ready?
loophole in the law, by trying to get around the law
Yeah, I'm
in
ready.
some way.
Okay.
By someone saying, no,
I'm
you can't
going,
do this. You say, okay, I can do this,
on the
then I'm
stage
going to do
one with the
this. Like
musicians.
that's
Okay.
so ingrained in our human nature. Or you will
He's
think
just got
that
a
you
paragraph or
are
so left, so
complying
it's
with
just
the
about
law
done.
because you will keep score by using the law
Who's that?
and focus on everyone else's stuff that will make you feel better about your own stuff and keep you from dealing with the stuff that is in your own heart. Either way, the law is powerless to change us. The law is powerless to change the world. That Paul is saying the only thing that will transform us, the only thing that will change us, the only thing that will change the world,
I
the only
like
thing
that
that will
too. Hang on to
transform
that
the world, the only thing that
depth
will make
there.
the
Keep
world
that camera low for a sec.
a better place is a
When he goes to
crucified
pray, I'll take
and
that.
resurrected Jesus living and dwelling within our soul through his Holy Spirit. That's the only thing that will transform us. That's the only thing that will give us the power to love our neighbor as we love ourselves. That's the only thing that will give us the power to act justly toward our neighbor, to show mercy to our neighbor, to be compassionate toward our neighbor, is a crucified and resurrected Jesus who is living and dwelling within us through his Holy Spirit. Paul says that's the only thing that will change you, and ultimately that's the
Kind of a
only
fun
thing
angle.
that will change the world. God, we confess to you today.
Going to 2.
We confess
Stand by
to you
6.
today that
Going to 6.
that we are people in such
Stand by
need of your
3.
grace
Going to 3.
and such need of your
I almost
forgiveness.
missed him.
And Lord, we confess that sometimes we
Yeah, 5 is 7's
have
coming out with the
not
singers, I
dealt
think.
with the stuff that's going
Yeah.
on in our own hearts because we have externalized it in such a way, or we've looked outside, or we've compared ourselves, or we've kept score, or whatever it is that it's kept us from looking at our own hearts and dealing with the issues that
Purple
are
light
within
that's hitting is nice.
our hearts. And so, Lord, we repent of that today. We confess that today. And Lord, we want to be transformed. We want to
Yeah.
be changed, and not just saved once where we know that we're going to heaven, but Lord, that we want to continually be transformed. We want to continually be changed. We want to continue to live out the life that you have
7, can you give me
created us
back
to
shot
live.
of Rod
We want to be a part of your world-changing mission to redeem
with the
and
crowd?
to make just and to make whole this world. And so, Lord, we pray that your Holy Spirit would fill
Nice.
us.
Going to 7?
And for those of us maybe who are watching online, or maybe they're right here in the sanctuary, Lord, that have never said really yes to the crucified, resurrected Jesus
Going back
and
to
invited
3.
you into their
Thank you,
lives,
7.
where
You
your
can go
Holy
back to
Spirit
the
can actually take
musicians.
up residence and dwell within us. We pray that
5
today
looks
is
good.
the day.
Watch the
Today is
guitar's
the day to
elbow on
say
your shot
yes
5.
to
You
your
may have to
Spirit.
turn.
Today
There
is
you
the
go.
day to say yes to what you've done for us on the cross. Today is the day to be set free from whatever it is that is enslaving us. And Lord, we pray
2.
that
As
all
soon
of
as
us
he starts to walk off, if
would
you want to
lean into the power of your Holy Spirit to live the life that you have created
tilt
us.
the camera all the way, like move your camera all the way
That,
up.
Lord, the desire
Take
to
that,
be
but wait till
more
he-
and more
I'll give
like
you a
you,
cue.
we know is impossible without the power of your Holy Spirit at work in our lives. And we want to be more and more like you. We want to be more and more like Christ in the way we live our lives and the way we relate to others. We know that's impossible without the crucified, resurrected Jesus living and dwelling within us. And so, Lord, may we open our hearts maybe in a fresh new way today to the power of your Spirit in our lives. And may we continue to be changed. And may our world continue to be changed. In the name of Christ.
1,
All right, go 2.
2,
Tilt up.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Keep going up. Keep going up. Stand by 5. Going to 5. Thank you, 2. All right, just keep giving me some moving shots, buddy.
Intro.
3. You can zoom in more on her. And then you gotta check your focus.
Verse.
Stand by 3. Going to 3. Nice. Good job, everybody. 7. That's really pretty.
Your crown for a cross,
If he
you willingly died. Your innocent life paid the cost.
That's nice. 6.
Verse.
Going to 6.
Counting your status
Going
as
to
my
5.
king,
5 is live.
the king of all
Stand by 3.
kings came
Going to
serve,
3. 3 is live.
washing
Stand
my
by
feet
7.
and covering me with your love.
7 is live.
Chorus.
If
Stand
more
by
of
2. 2 is
you
live. Go ahead and move.
means less of
There you go.
me,
Keep going. Keep moving. Keep moving. Going to 3.
Yes, all of you is all I need. Take
Yeah, stay with those people that are worshiping too. Just can your
Interlude.
camera go any lower? Other way. There you go. Going to 5. 5 is live. Oh, he put his hand. That's alright.
Verse.
Keep moving. Going to 3. 3 is live.
Life and my treasure, the one that I
Stand by
can't
7.
live
Going to 7.
without.
7 is live.
So here at your feet, my desires
Start to come up
and
2.
dreams I lay
Going to 2.
down.
2 is live.
Tag.
Going to 3. 3 is
Here
live.
at your feet,
Stand
my
by 5. 5
desires
is
and
live.
dreams I lay
Stand by 7.
down.
7 is
Chorus.
live.
If more of
Keep
you
going 7.
means less of me,
Going to 3. 3
take
is live. Thanks. Stand by 6.
everything. Yes, all of you
Can you go back to Josh 6?
is all I need.
Yeah, go to 6. 6 is live. Beautiful.
Chorus.
Stand by 5. Going to 5.
If more of you
Stand by 3.
means
Going to 3.
less
3 is
of
live.
me, take everything.
Stand by 6. Going to 6.
Yes,
7. Can you go back to the drums?
you is all I need.
Stand by 7. 7 is live.
Everything.
Bridge.
Stand by 6. Going to 6. 6 is live.
Change me like
Stand by 3. Going to 3. 3 is live. 2. Start to get some big open shots. Just keep moving your camera. Don't even stop moving. Just keep moving the whole time.
I pray, make me more
Going to 2.
like
Stand by
Bridge.
7.
Jesus. This
7 go. 7 is
world
live.
is dying to
Beautiful.
know
Going to
who
5.
you
5 is live.
are.
Stand by 3.
You've shown us
Going to
the
3.
way
3 is live.
your
6. Stand by.
heart.
Going to 6.
So
6 is
Father,
live.
I pray,
3. Go back to Mary Kelly.
like
7. Get the drums. Go to 7. 7 is live. Nice.
change me like
3. 3 is live.
you can. Here with my heart in yours.
Stand by 6. 6 is live.
So Father, I pray,
Stand by 7. 7 is live.
more like
Bridge.
Stand by 2. 2 is live.
this
Keep
world
moving 2. Keep moving.
is dying to
Good.
know
Going to 3. 3 is 5, going to 5, 5 is live. Going to 7, 7 is live. Going to 6, 6 is live. Going to 3, 3 is live. Stand by 7, going to 7, 7 is live. Stand by 5, 5 is live. Stand by 3, 3 is live. 6, go to Josh. Stand by 2, 2 is live. Keep going 2, keep going, keep moving.
Instrumental.
Going to 3. Going to 7, 7 is live. Going to 5, 5 is live. Going to 3, 3 is live. Nice. Going to 6, 6 is live. Going to 7, 7 is live. Going to 5. Going to 5, 5 is live. Going to 3, 3 is live. Stand by 6, going to 6, 6 is live. 2, big opens. Going to 2. There you go. 3, 3 is live. Going to 6, 6 is live. 5, 5 is live. 3 tilt up. Yep, going to 3, 3 is live. Stand by 7, 7 is live. Stand by 6, going to 6, 6 is live. Going to 5, 5 is live. Stand by 3, going to 3 is live. Going to 7, 7 is live. 5, can you go back to the musicians?
Ending.
Going to 3, 3
You guys
is
give
live.
it up for the Lord today.
Go to Rod, going to 2. That's a good distance to 3.
4, 5, 6.
All right, so a couple things as you go out.
Good
First
job,
of all, it's so
everybody.
great again to have you.